Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to discuss the use of board clears in Hearthstone. If you're playing a control deck, or even if you're playing a mid-range deck that has access to board clears and you're playing against aggro, you're taking on the control role in the matchup, you're often thinking about how to use board clears, when to clear the opponent's board, when to use those big spells, and what happens then. The most common mistake new players make is that they use their board clears ineffectively. They use them too soon and they put themselves into a position where they cannot really gain control of the game. So whenever you're in a position where you could clear the opponent's board with your spell, you have to think about a few things. First of all, how many clears are available to you compared to the threats that the opponent has? Because if you're clearing the board but the opponent has a lot of resources in hand, they're fairly likely be able to build a new board. That board clear might not be able to help you a whole lot, so you may need to be more conservative. On the other hand, if your hand is full of board clear spells, say you're playing something like a big spell mage, and your opponent doesn't have a ton of resources, then you might be a little more wasteful with your board clears. And if you decide that you're not going to clear the board now, then you have to think, okay, can you make the opponent play more into the board clear? Because if the opponent already has a strong board, they might also just be gathering more resources and not play anything more into it, so they will just hit you in the face and you will have the same dilemma again next turn. So if you cannot entice your opponent to play more into your clear, or somehow gain more of an advantage, have more mana, so for example you can play more things than just the board clear spell on the same turn, then it might not be a good idea to delay. Another consideration is your opponent's capabilities. For example, if your board clear is damage based and you know that the opponent runs Fungalmancer and they will have 5 mana, then if that Fungalmancer makes the board too large for your board clear spell, then that's just put you in a really bad position. So you have to think about your opponent's capabilities of buffing their board into such a state that it will be impervious to your board clears. And finally, remember that health is a resource. As long as your opponent doesn't have burst damage to kill you, or if they cannot set up a multi-turn lethal, you can afford to take damage. If you have a lot of health and the opponent's board is not too intimidating yet, you can let them hit you a little bit. You can use your health in order to conserve your cards and get more out of them. Then, if you choose not to clear the board immediately, what are you going to do then? First of all, you're probably going to play some minions. And if you play minions, well, taunt minions are obviously great, because they are taking some of the pressure off from your health total. And other minions that your opponent will want to trade into, that will make your opponent choose between going face or trading in those minions, are also good minions to play. At the same time, you need to try to think about how to make the health totals on the board, so that your board clear spell is going to be as effective as possible. And also do that while not signaling to your opponent too heavily that you have this particular spell available. That's the theory, but I have also prepared a number of examples for you that showcase these principles in practice. So let's go take a look at those. This one is one of my favorites. It's about delaying a board clear, and when you delay it, you might not even need to do it the following turn. Some new options might come up, and this is a sequence that shows that very well. But he might be able to pop the death rattle of that egg next turn. 1 nether, 2, 3, and not a great defile board yet. I think I'll just take down the mind control tech and play a Tar Lurker. Also Ziliax was available. Let's see if he has some death rattle activators now. I mean, if it just cubes the egg, I don't think I mind that too much. Then I could silence the cube. But there's only an egg in that cube. There's no 5/5s in the cube. But obviously the eggs can then be turned into 5/5s over multiple turns. I could take away playdeads now. So then he would have no way, then his means of popping the cube are a little bit weakened. I think that's the line. Let's take away the playdead. Hunter's Mark playdead tracking removed. So then he needs to have the 3/3 minion in order to proc the cube. Which he could. Another cube, this time with 5/5s inside. Oh, this is getting so interesting now. This cube probably needs to be silenced, right? I haven't found a twisting nether yet. Hit that cube and Hellfire. Then he would have 2 eggs on the board. I mean, he can still pop those eggs at some point. But they're a lot less scary immediately than everything that he currently has here. I think that's probably what I'm going for. Let's hit there and I can simply defile. I don't even have to Hellfire. I can defile and then I can also develop the Librarian afterwards. This looks fine. So that saved a Hellfire defile type of play. What if he Mossy Horrors now? He could do that. He can also have double Terror Scale Stalkers in hand. Oh, but this is going to be fine. So I hit here. There's still a 2. Now I can defile. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6. And now he's left with just this Devilsaur here, which is easily killable with, let's say, Ziliax. Okay, so now we have dealt with cubes and eggs and Terroscale Stalkers and Playdeds. This following example will show you about playing those minions first, so that they will stall the game and give you a better board clear opportunity later. I think I have to save the Hellfire for next turn. Just Star Creeper, no Ferrard now. I burned 1 Fungal Mancer. That's good. He couldn't top deck that Fungal Mancer. Because with 2 minions on the board, there's a chance that I can set up for a Hellfire board for next turn. That's the goal. And the Tar Creeper is big. Oh, yes. And this looks pretty good. There, and Hellfire. Boom. There goes the board. In this example, I judged that I can't take quite as much damage as my opponent might be able to do. So I need to prevent them from snowballing a little bit at the start, but save the big stuff for later. Flame Imp into Kelazet. What's there not to like? So I could do Pyromancer and Coin to stem this early aggression. And I believe I need to do that. I still have another Pyromancer left afterwards. Pyromancer and then I Coin Hero Power. So on the board, of course, the Kelazet will have to trade into the Pyromancer, and that will leave me with a 1/1. That may or may not be useful. But he had Flame Imp on 1, Kelazet on 2. Top deck some Void Walkers. That's pretty solid stuff. I don't have a good play for this turn. I think I need to just wait now. Maybe I can do something with the True Silver Champion. Right now, though, it looks like I might have to... Yeah, what do I have to do? If I throw another Pyro already on this board, that's a bit too fast. A bit too soon. I need to stall with the Chain Gang. I need to take a hit there. I still have the Pyro equality. I just need to milk more stuff from him because he's drawing perfectly. And there's also the option that I get to do... Okay. He's really, really drawing well. So I need to wipe that board. In this example, I'm offered a board clear that doesn't give me any initiative. My opponent would retain the initiative completely. So I make a setup that will make for a better board clear next turn. If I coin Chain Gang, boom, 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 Chain Gang dies. What if I coin True Silver Champion and I take this damage? 7-8 damage. I go down to 19. Next turn I can consecrate and use the True Silver Champion to kill something. Because there's the Soul Infusion. What if there's a Saronite Chain Gang? I think this is the correct play. I think this is the correct play. That could be a Saronite Chain Gang. It can be that one too. I'm taking some damage, but I have a board clear. Before he can play a Fungal Mancer too. In this example, there is a particularly scary threat on the board that I choose to silence and then go for a board clear later on. I want to milk another turn of cards from him. I think I can take that damage. If I play Stonehill Defender, I'm very committed to doing Pyro Equality next turn. If I Spellbreaker his Light Warden, I'm a little bit less committed to that. Because now there's foreseeable ways to deal with this without the Pyro Equality. Now this is Soul Infusioned. That's scary. I might be able to go through this with double Stonehill. I can pick up a Tyrion from this one. I'll coin another Stonehill. I'll pick up the Anoia module. I think I'm in a reasonable shape with 2 4 health taunt minions here. I want to get him to play that card. So far I'm not succeeding though. He's not touching that card. Well, I have the option to simply consecrate here. I can do Pyromancer Consecration, it will wipe the board. I still have another Pyromancer left. This is perfect. So, by doing these lines, I did not commit myself to playing the equality. Those were some guidelines on how to use board clears effectively. What's the availability of your clears? What about your opponent's threats? Can you bait out more stuff into that clear? Is there a risk that the opponent buffs their board so that they will be impervious to your clear? And do you still have health left to use as a resource to delay? I hope this helps you make the most out of your board clears when you're playing the control role. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.